George Pickens swapping the black and gold for Cowboys blue would have already been a big enough bombshell. But what really sent Steelers fans into a frenzy was finding out that the team is waiting for Aaron Rodgers to decide who the next wide receiver will be. That's right, number 12 hasn't even arrived yet and is already shaping the offense. And while the saga drags on, another concern is growing. The future of the most important position on the roster remains up in the air. Like the topic? Smash that like button. Alright, so here's the scoop straight from the Steel City Drama Fest. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been lighting up the offseason with a bunch of moves, but the one that's got everyone buzzing is the sudden exit of George Pickens. Yep, he's now rocking a Cowboys jersey. That trade left a pretty big hole in Pittsburgh's wide receiver room, and naturally, fans and insiders have been throwing out names left and right trying to figure out who's stepping in next. But here's where it gets interesting. It sounds like the Steelers are basically in wait-and-see mode right now. According to Ray Fittipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, they're not rushing into anything. Why? Because they're waiting on one guy, Mr. Darkness Retreat himself, Aaron Rodgers. Yep, apparently Rodgers holds the keys to the WR room in Pittsburgh, even before he's officially part of the team. Fittipaldo says the Steelers will probably snag another receiver at some point, but they want to see what Rodgers does first. Names like Keenan Allen and Gabe Davis are floating around, Allen being that savvy vet with solid hands, and Davis being more of a boom-or-bust deep threat who shows up in big moments. Either guy could work, but Pittsburgh isn't pulling the trigger until they know if Rodgers is actually coming to town. Now, the Rodgers to Pittsburgh rumors have been swirling for what feels like forever. Steelers fans are either pacing like they're waiting on a pizza delivery or just fed up with the whole circus. Everyone's wondering what the holdup is, and honestly, so are we. But here's where things get juicier. There's been talk about reuniting Rodgers with someone he knows like Romeo Doubs from the Packers. He's a sneaky good option. Reliable hands, can line up pretty much anywhere, and he's got that built-in chemistry with Rodgers. Fittipaldo even gave a thumbs up to that idea, saying, if Rodgers vouches for him, why not take a shot? Worst case scenario, you move on after the season. Doubs could be the guy to not only patch the hole left by Pickens, but give Rodgers or whoever ends up under center someone who can win battles downfield and be a steady presence. As of now, there's no official Rodgers deadline. A few rumored timelines have already come and gone, and the team is still sitting tight. Maybe they're quietly confident Rodgers will show up, or maybe they're gambling a little too hard on a late answer. Either way, the longer they wait, the fewer big names will be left on the board. So it's Rodgers' move now, tick-tock. Are the Steelers putting too much faith in a Rodgers deal that hasn't even happened yet? And what if the real plan is even bolder? Just wait until you hear what could go down in the 2026 draft. All right, Steelers fans, here's the deal. Pittsburgh's QB situation is, well, murky at best. Right now, there's no clear starter locked in, and that's got everyone from fans to insiders raising eyebrows. While most of the NFL has already figured out who's calling plays under center this season, the Steelers are still playing the waiting game, and if you ask Brian Batko of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the team might already be looking beyond 2025 for their long-term answer. Batko dropped a little nugget in his recent mailbag column, saying straight up, the Steelers are high on next year's quarterback class. Translation? They've got their eyes on the 2026 NFL draft, and they're not exactly betting the house on their current QB room. Now, yeah, the Aaron Rodgers rumors are still flying around like seagulls at a tailgate. The Steelers reportedly made a formal offer to the veteran gunslinger, and the entire fan base is basically in a holding pattern, waiting to see if the four-time MVP makes Pittsburgh his final NFL stop. But even if Rodgers does say yes, let's not kid ourselves, this is a short-term romance. The guy's 41, and while he might still have some magic left in that arm, Father Time is warming up on the sideline. The plan, it seems, is to ride Rodgers as a temporary solution while keeping one eye locked on the future. And here's the juicy part. The 2026 draft is in Pittsburgh. Talk about setting the stage. The Steelers have been stacking up draft picks through trades and compensatory selections, giving them the ammo to potentially move up and grab their next franchise QB on their home turf, no less. Can you imagine that moment? The hometown crowd going wild as they pick their guy of the future? It writes itself. Now, yes, they did grab a quarterback in the 2025 draft, Will Howard out of Ohio State, but they waited until the 6th round to do it. That tells you all you need to know about how they see him. He's a developmental guy, maybe a backup with upside, but not someone they're expecting to lead the charge anytime soon. The 2025 QB class was widely seen as weak sauce compared to the star-studded 2024 group, which already had rookies making waves. But the early buzz on the 2026 class? Much stronger. There are already a few big names emerging from college programs, and if that trend keeps up, Pittsburgh could be in prime position to make a serious move next spring. So yeah, Rodgers might be the short-term fix, but the Steelers, they're playing the long game. Pickens gone, Rodgers uncertain, and no QB locked in. Hard to trust a plan that blends short-term gambles with long-term hopes. But if number 12 walks through that door, everything changes.